Water. Earth. Fire. Air.
So I know one of the reasons we're getting together is because I was actually talking to Netflix yesterday, and I was asking the same question you were, Gordon, like, what's happening, with the show? How are we doing? And they did share a bit of news with me that they asked me to share with you. And it's kind of sensitive, so I think that's why they asked me to do it. And it may not be the news that we are expecting.
Oh.
So, yeah, it was a very special show for me, and I think it was for everyone else. And so, I'm sorry if this is unexpected, but they are not able to announce a season 2 for our show. But they did say something else to me that I think was really important. They said they're not able to announce a season 2 because they would like to announce season 2 and 3.
No way! Good! I'm in the first half! Daniel, screw you! Why would you do this to us?
Oscar, that had me sweating. God.
So cruel. That is evil, man.
I checked the numbers this morning. I was like,
I know, me too. Dude, you had me so
What are we doing this way? We're going to be seeing more of each other over the next few years.
Avatar Hype House, let's do it, guys. Come on.
Well, I can't help but feel a bit disappointed. Took them long enough. Congratulations, everyone.
Oh my gosh.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. Netflix just announced Avatar: The Last Airbender will do their full adaptation of the original series with Season 2 and Season 3 back-to-back. I know there's tons of questions about Toph now, and are they going to bring back the original voice cast from the animated series as the Ember Island players? So we'll cover all that stuff. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. A couple people actually dug into the viewership numbers as of right now. The live-action Avatar series is doing just a little bit better than the Netflix One Piece Season 1 was doing around the same period. We'll see if it has the staying power or if One Piece winds up being the big winner in here. But Netflix spent so much money adapting Avatar Season 1, I always assumed that they would do the entire series. It was just a question of how quickly they would be able to get it all out. I didn't do full episodes for every single episode of Season 1 just because of the way Netflix binge drops everything. It makes it a nightmare to do episode videos for everything like I would do for a traditional series. And generally when the series launched, it was kind of hard to tell whether people cared about it or not because it was almost crickets on YouTube those first couple of days. Like almost nobody was talking about it. Rewind back to 2018 when Mike and Bryan made their first announcement they were coming back to Avatar. I did a couple videos about their announcements. Those videos, just all of them collectively, have a couple million views on them each. Just to give you an idea for how hardcore people were for them coming back, like how excited everybody around the world was at that time. Then all the drama about them quitting the Netflix series happened, like Mike and Bryan leaving. We found out why they left, mostly the changes that were made to the original series, and there were many, like it was vastly different from the original series, and Netflix probably not giving them the budget that they said they would, which contributed to a lot of those changes. Like, can we have everybody meet at Omashu, even though like a lot of this stuff that we're doing here never happened in the original series? Can we have Sokka and Katara do Cave of Two Lovers, even though that's from Book 2? Then Paramount basically gave Mike and Bryan a blank check to make their own studio and make all the animated Avatar: The Last Airbender movies, totally new animated Avatar shows that they wanted. So you don't have to be a genius to do the math on that decision. They chose to go over on their own, do whatever they wanted, no limits. Bryan just posted a preview video talking about the upcoming Avatar: The Last Airbender animated movie they're working on with the adult Team Aang in their late 20s, early 30s. This is the first new project that they're going to be releasing.
Now we're making a movie, our first movie. And so that always, as an artist, that was like really alluring to me. I can't really wrap my head around the final mix and the final color correction on the feature. Now we're talking about doing multiple projects at the same time, including feature films.
That adult Team Aang movie was supposed to come out late 2025, but that was before the strikes in Hollywood happened last year. They might have delayed that to 2026, but it's going to be the first thing that they release regardless. Right after that is supposed to be the next animated Avatar series with the next Avatar after Korra. I think this is what's really going to get people hyped up, is the animated movie coming out and the new animated series. It'll follow an Earthbender. It's supposed to be set 100 years after the legend of Korra, which puts it in real-world present day, like an Avatar with mobile phones, like modern technology, basically. During Korra, the world had progressed to about 1920s level technology. They're doing a Kyoshi movie, a Fire Lord Zuko movie. Dante Bosco's probably going to come back as the voice of Zuko for all that stuff too. There are other series that they're working on. All of them will be animated in different styles too, the same way that the animation from Korra was totally different from the animation on Last Airbender. So I think the real hype for Avatar just in general will come back once those things start coming out. And based on this Netflix Avatar The Last Airbender Season 2, Season 3 announcement, the new animated stuff from Mike and Bryan will start releasing around the same time the Season 2 of the Netflix live-action series releases. So just in general, Avatar fans will be eating good, like whether you really enjoyed the live-action series or you're just waiting for the animated stuff to come back, there will be a lot of Avatar stuff coming. They'll start filming the live-action Season 2 for 2026 release. I do not think they're going to be able to get it out for December 2025, so expect Season 2 to release around the same time that Season 1 released in 2026, like February 2026. Season 3 probably going to be about a year after that, and y'all probably figured out why they renewed the show for Season 2 and Season 3 at the same time, not just for Season 2. Daniel Day Kim tried to make a big dad joke about it too, dropping the mic. It's mostly because they want to finish adapting the entire original series to the events of Book 3 before all the child actors look like they're in their 30s with 5 o'clock shadows. We don't want Aang rolling up in Season 3 with his beard from the Legend of Korra flashbacks like a 40-year-old looking Aang. The original animated series took place over the course of about a single year, like a little bit less than a year. Aang was biologically 12 years old when he came out of the ice in episode 1. Then he was about to turn 13 during the finale, like his actual birthday was about 4 months after the end of book 3, so literally less than a year goes by. During the live-action series, the showrunner said they changed the plot with Sozin's Comet significantly because of this time issue that they ran into, because they knew it would take them a few years to get the whole series out, so they couldn't use the arrival of Sozin's Comet as a ticking clock the same way the original series did, mentioning it all the time. So that's why in the live-action episodes, you barely hear them talking about the comet, like just in episode 1, that prologue for Fire Lord Sozin's attack on the Airbenders, then in the post-credit scene with Fire Lord Ozai and the Great Sage discussing the comet coming back.
When?
Soon. We shall see the return
Of Sozin's Comet.
And notice during those scenes, they don't specifically list a date on when the comet is coming back, only a vague reference that it is coming soon at some point. All because they had no idea when the show was going to be renewed or when they'd be able to make Season 3. So the showrunner implied that they'd be writing some time jumps between Season 1, Season 2, and Season 2 and Season 3 to explain why the child actors, especially Gordon Cormier, who plays Aang, looks so much bigger. Like, wow, what have you been eating, Aang? Like, you just grew so much. Overall, Season 1 was head and shoulders better than the M. Night Shyamalan Avatar The Last Airbender movie. I feel like this was the only assignment that it had. Like, there was no way that it was going to be as good as the original animated series. That's perfect, essentially. You cannot beat something that is already perfect. But beating that original live-action Avatar movie was a pretty low bar to clear, so it wasn't that hard for them to do that. They had a lot of swings and misses. I do have complaints about some of the bigger aspects of the Netflix series, but there were a couple things they did really well on the whole. Like the bending itself is probably the biggest win that they had. The bending all looks great. One of the other big improvements that they need to make is fix the chemistry between Aang and Katara. They're supposed to end the series as one of the great love affairs in the Avatar universe, and Season 1 Katara and Season 1 Aang have zero chemistry together. The closest thing to any kind of relationship development during Season 1 in the Avatar universe here was between Suki and Sokka. That'll also probably be one of the bigger changes for Season 2. Expect them to bring the Suki actress back and make her a bigger part in the plot than she was in the original book too. Now Suki does become part of the plot later on in the original animated series. She does come back eventually, but just expect her to be more prominent in the live action version. But really, we're talking about Toph here. Like, Toph is the biggest new character they're introducing because she's a core member of Team Aang, like one of the greatest Earthbenders in the history of the Avatar universe. So just like Season 1, expect them to condense a lot of the plot points, skip a lot of the side quests. So either they'll make a beeline for Ba Sing Se, or they'll meet Toph, or Aang will have a vision of her at some point during Episode 1, but we will see her at some point during Episode 1, and they will make their way to Ba Sing Se pretty quickly. So I think they'll probably do a pretty close adaptation of the way they met Toph in the original Book 2 series. At a bending competition with her beating the crap out of Boulder, I would love if he were played by The Rock. The fandom has been asking for The Rock to play Boulder for so long, but there's no way Netflix is going to pay the money it would take to get The Rock to do that. We'll probably get that first Toph versus Aang fight scene. She'll join them, and over the course of the season, she'll teach Aang how to earthbend, and she'll invent metal bending. Toph is canonically supposed to be the first metal bender in the history of the Avatar universe. And for those of you asking, like, one of the big complaints of Season 1 is that Aang never actually learns to waterbend. Like, what's happening here? Wasn't he supposed to learn how to waterbend? Isn't that the whole point of this? What they'll probably do is they'll have Katara teach him how to waterbend at the beginning of Season 2. Like, first couple of episodes, he'll learn how to waterbend. As for Zuko, Iroh, and Azula, their Book 2 plot is actually pretty easy to adapt. Like, it's way less expensive than what's happening with Team Aang for the most part. Fire Lord Ozai sets Azula to the task of capturing Zuko and Iroh, branding them as traitors, trying to bring them back to the Fire Nation, and they take off to hide in Ba Sing Se, pretending to be normal citizens of the Earth Kingdom, opening Iroh's tea shop, which is a lifelong dream of his. Like, he has so much fun during that part of the plot. Just chilling out and making good tea every day, like that's all he cares about. And Zuko begins the next phase of his redemption arc, or really, he begins his redemption. He was mostly an antagonist to Aang during Season 1, and he almost falters during Book 2 as well, or in the original version. Like, Zuko betrays Uncle Iroh in a pretty big way. But essentially, during Book 2, he starts to turn the corner on his redemption. It's not really till Book 3 that he actually joins Team Avatar and becomes a fundamentally good character. They'll probably end Season 2 the same way they ended the original Book 2, with Azula lightning-bending Aang, almost killing him, basically putting him into a coma. That's actually a pretty easy way to explain a time jump before Season 3, because Gordon Cormier, like the actor, will actually just be physically so much bigger. You look so much older because you've been in a coma for a long time. Hoping that they do adapt a version of the beach in some way in one of the episodes. It'd be weird for them to do Cabbage Man, Cave of Two Lovers, and then not do the beach. And really hoping here, like fingers crossed, that they bring back the original voice cast to be the Ember Island players. They do reunions all the time at conventions. Like, you can actually go get signatures with them, hear them talk about doing the original series all the time, like literally several times a year. Dante Basco is even doing a rewatch podcast for the original Avatar series with Janet Varney, who was the voice for Korra. What I'm really hoping, too, is that he comes back as the voice of Zuko in these movies that Mike and Bryan are doing. We probably won't see any footage from those till like either the very end of this year or like early next year at some point, so I'm not expecting any big trailers for the animated Avatar stuff for a while. But everyone, post all your thoughts on Avatar The Last Airbender Netflix Season 2. If you had any complaints about Season 1, stuff you hope they fix, or stuff you hope that they adapt from the original Book 2. We might get some actual footage from that by the end of this year, if they're going to be filming later this year. There's a bunch of big stuff coming up. My Invincible Season 2 episodes will start really soon. My X-Men 97 episodes. Be sure to enable alerts for my channel so you don't miss any of those. Click here for my Avatar The Last Airbender post-credit scene video, and click here for all my videos on the animated stuff that Mike and Bryan is doing. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.